Sex scenes. What is the point in a sex scene in a film, in any film, unless it's a porno? So my current vacuum cleaner, it's not, but it's
But
sorry,
you can only vacuum up currents.
yes.
A bit wider would be good. Since the year 2000, we've just about worked out how to do a hand dryer that dries your hands. Yet back in the 60s, apparently, we could fly to the moon.
I think there was a little bit too much volleyball.
100%. I freaking hate old people.
Really?
Well,
It's probably not a swastika, okay?
Welcome to the Tuesday Show with CJ and Ted.
sex scenes. What is the point in a sex scene in a film? In any film, unless it's a porno.
Do you know what? I don't know.
So I bought a new vacuum cleaner yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought a new vacuum cleaner yesterday. Because
It sounds like the setup for a joke.
I know, right? So I bought a new vacuum cleaner yesterday, and this whole scene unfolded with a tedious inevitability.
That sucks.
When I watch a film or a TV show, and then they go into the gratuitous sex scene, and you see boobs and man chest and all, and I'm just like, and then they're going through the motions or whatever. But I literally just think, what is this bringing to the show? No, so my current vacuum cleaner, it's not, but it's
but
sorry,
you can only vacuum up currents.
Yes.
all these raisins all over the floor you can't touch.
Exactly.
Sorry, Kill.
No, that's all right. No, my current vacuum cleaner's broken, so it doesn't. The brush head on it doesn't spin properly, and I've had it out and tried to clean it, and it hasn't made a difference. And it was only like a cheap thing from Tesco, so I just got rid of it. Well, I haven't got rid of it yet, but I will get rid of it.
What would you think then is an acceptable level of sex scene in a film? I'm going to refer to your favourite film, which is Top Gun. There is a scene.
There is a scene, and it's unnecessary.
Really? Even that's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. The thing is, all they needed. So for the viewers and listeners' kind of benefit, if you haven't seen Top Gun, there's a scene in there where Tom Cruise, so the lead character and the lead female, basically get it on, and the scene kind of cuts to. You see silhouettes, so it's very blue with a couple of silhouettes. Her shirt is open. He hasn't got a top on. His trousers are open as well. And you see them, kissing, and then next thing you know, they're on the bed, and the telltale movements are going on. I feel that's a bit unnecessary. All you actually needed to do was at the point where you've got the silhouettes standing up, kissing each other, half dressed. We understand what is about to happen at that point.
Talking of Dyson, have I ever told you my theory about the moon landings?
I think you may have mentioned it before, perhaps not on the show. I know we've intimated towards it on the show when I think I've spoken about stuff, and you've kind of gone, if it even happened. But we've never really delved into it. So, no, go ahead.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, per se. But what I am saying is, it wasn't that long ago that the Dyson Airblade became a thing. The hand dryer.
Remind me. Yeah.
So you go to the public loo, and then you go and dry your hands, and you stick your hands in this little thing, trying not to touch anything. Which is weird. Why don't they make them a bit wider? A bit wider would be good.
Yeah, so they're quite narrow.
You wash your hands, and then you go to the Dyson Airblade or similar, and put your hands in, and you end up touching something.
Yeah.
But anyway, what it is a hand dryer that actually dries your hands. So
amazingly,
this makes me think. Hang on a minute. How can we have successfully sent astronauts to the moon, who've then landed safely, messed about, jumped around and that sort of stuff, got back on the craft and made it all the way back, all without dying several times over, And yet, it was only, let's say, five years ago or something, that we actually had a hand dryer that works.
I think the Airblade's been out for some time.
Yeah, but let's call it 10 years.
Yeah, I'd go with 10, maybe 15 at a push.
Okay, 10.
About 10.
All right, let's say in this millennia, since the year 2000, we've just about worked out how to do a hand dryer that dries your hands. Right? It's all about technology. It's about, hang on, how can we be at the sort of pinnacle of technology in terms of hand dryers today? Yet back in the 60s, apparently, we could fly to the moon.
I'm not saying it takes anything away from the film. I just don't believe it adds anything to it.
Yeah.
And the fact that the very next scene, it's morning, he's gone, left a paper airplane on the bed next to the woman, which is clearly some kind of, I don't know if it's a love note or whether he's just, gone, hey, here's a paper airplane for you. Why not? I don't see the added value except for killing a couple of minutes of screen time. Maybe that's what it was. They were told, no, you must have 86-minute runtime. But if and if they cut that out, it would only be 84, and they'd be, oh shit, the producer's going to kill us. So we need to put that in. I don't know. At which point I'd say, no, put more dogfight scenes in. That's what we need. It's Top Gun, what it's about. But like I say, I don't see the value that it adds.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Although, having said that, I mean, shortly before that scene, I think there was a little bit too much volleyball.
100%, yeah. No one knows the point of the volleyball scene.
How come now we've got, apparently, phones with the computing power of, I don't know, whatever, an elephant. But then back then, that just did not exist.
Yeah, I kind of get that, yeah.
It's like, we got some special spaceman, food that looks like toothpaste. That was the pinnacle, wasn't it?
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. And like I say, the fact that your mobile phone now has more computing power than all of the supercomputers put together in NASA to send someone to the moon in the 60s.
Yeah. It just doesn't sort of sit right. I'm not saying it never happened.
Yeah.
It would certainly be potentially less risky for it to not have happened. But I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying, how have we only just made hand dryers that work?
Oh my God!
I freaking hate old people.
Really?
It's almost like you go to a supermarket, and I'll like at lunchtimes, I might go to Tesco's at lunch and buy myself a wrap and a drink or something. And I'll sit in my car and I'll just eat and just listen to music and just kind of chill out. That's my time to relax. But because I'm sat in the Tesco's car park, I watch all the old people driving in or attempting to drive in, and they just abandon their cars in the most ridiculous places. They try and they put some effort into parking their car, but it just looks abandoned. It's over the line. I mean, I'll be honest. Okay, it's not exclusive to old people. There are just some genuine wankers out there who just abandon their car wherever they feel like. But it just seems to be the majority is old people who will just, wang into a space and just fucking leave their car there. And
just what? Wang into a space?
Wang into a space, yeah.
I'd never heard that phrase before.
No, neither have I.
You've just coined it.
The first word that came out of my mouth. So, they'll throw it into a space and
that's parking wang.
Yeah, parking.
Bruh.
I kind of get where you're going, but I personally think the moon landings did happen. And a lot of it was down to the politics at the time. I'm not entirely sure what kind of triggered the space race, but the space race happened and America, wanted to be the first people on the moon. Although they weren't the first in space, they weren't the first to launch a satellite into space. They had to be the first people on the moon. But it was all just politics, though, wasn't it? And that's pretty much where all the funding went to.
Yeah. You would have thought also that it should be infinitely cheaper just to nip to the moon again. Now, if you think of the technology should be just super cheap.
Technology would be, super cheap by comparison. Fuel still is not cheap. And that's the biggest cost, though. It's the fuel to get there.
But they do send stuff up. I mean, and the place where the fuel is getting out of the Earth's atmosphere. It's not a case of, lots of fuel to get to the moon. Because once you're in space, you just, you're not pushing against an awful lot, are you?
No. And then they'll come out of the supermarket with a trolley full of shopping, they'll put it into the back of their car, and then they'll just put the trolley on the footpath in front of their car. And I'm like, if you literally walk an extra 5 steps, you can put it into the bay where you're supposed to take your trolley when you're finished with it. But they don't.
Oh, that really annoys me. I tell you what, that leads on to something else that actually annoys me about not old people, but just people in general, I think.
Go on.
But especially the old. No, the trolley thing does annoy me because, like you say, they're not very far away from one of the places where they put places all around. They dot places all around the car park where you can put your trolley. It's not as though you have to take it back to the shop. You only have to take it a few paces away. But that is it's so annoying. Not because they're lazy, but because they don't realise how lazy they're being. They've just spent probably I don't know, depends on how long they've been shopping, but if they've got a trolley, the chances are they've done like a week's shop or half a week's shop. So they've probably been in there for half an hour, maybe more.
Walking
back and forth for hours. Or they might have done a couple of miles or something whilst they were in there.
Yeah.
And then not to be able to do just a few feet just to put the trolley away, I think that's disgusting and they should be shot.
They say that the space race itself gave birth to a lot of new or improved technologies. The microchip can be attributed to the space race. Because of the technology that had to be designed and developed to send a shuttle to send a rocket into space and all that stuff. And that's why we now have, smart tech and all that kind of stuff. I'd be more willing to attribute all of today's technology to something like, I don't know, Star Trek, rather than the space race itself.
Okay.
You look at the technologies that they bring in a TV show, a science fiction TV show. But you could say the same thing about, I don't know, Star Wars or anything like that. Any kind of futuristic show, movie, whatever, almost gives people a driver to make improvements today. Like I say, you look at the technology that they use in shows like Star Trek, tablet computers, tiny communication devices that pin to their jumpers. I know we don't have that, but, we have tiny communication devices we can wear on our wrist.
Yeah.
All of that kind of technology, I think you can attribute back to science fiction. And the ideas that are kind of presented. Space travel, okay, still far-fetched for us. It's still a long way off, but, eccentric billionaires like Elon Musk are making quite good headway in that
you say
area.
that, but again, it comes back to the same thing. Space travel, far-fetched, but space travel came long before having little communication devices that you can put on your wrist.
True.
I'm just saying, that's not the way round I would have imagined it to be.
No, but you send people into space, that gives birth to a TV show, a science fiction TV show where people then live and work in space. And then from there, you develop and, you start having ideas of, well, what else would be there in that future where we are traveling through space? What else is there for us to use? What device or technology can be available for us? I mean, okay, I know a lot of the ideas in TV and movies are driven by the technology of the day as well. You look at, the original series of Star Trek. I mean, it's badly dated in terms of the technology that's there, but it's still not that far off what we're using today. Okay, the tablets are a bit more chunky, but even like the automatic doors on a lift or an elevator, okay, they don't make the wicked noise where it goes shh like that. I mean, that would be awesome. I really want that to be a thing, but they're not, unfortunately.
Now, this is a bit more controversial because it involves the disabled. But, when you get, you and I have both done this for various reasons, but every now and again you get tasked with, helping out with the car parking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get, and if you've ever done car parking where it's a field, and you've just got to designate spaces, and perhaps you might have a few spaces nearer the event, and they might be designated as being for disabled people or people that have difficulty walking, the elderly and such like. That's fair enough. But it's when people shout the odds. It's when people turn up and say, "Oh no, I need that space. I need to be closer because I've got a bad leg or I've got a bad elbow or
you got a blue badge."
Well, absolutely. But even so, my thought is, okay, so this might be the parking for, let's say, a fete or something, or, whatever it may be. Can you imagine, like, you're not actually going to park your car and then just go straight to one place. You're going to park your car and walk around the bloody traction engine rally for half a day.
Yep.
Those extra few feet to go to the space that is being designated for you, go. No, I want to be that much nearer the front. Yeah. It's a few yards. What's wrong with you people?
So I was just refilling my vape. My vapey jape. My Jack vape.
Your vape? What kind of vape you got?
Jack Vape Series S22. Yeah.
Are you able to create massive clouds?
I am. Would you like a demonstration of
I would like a demonstration now. I think that would be good.
You'll need to keep talking while I do this, though, because obviously it'll just be dead air otherwise.
Yeah. No, it'd be great for the audio version. This.
There you go.
Okay, that's great.
But the problem is, because I've got a green screen on as well, as soon as it goes outside of me, it just kind of disappears because it turns green.
I think perhaps these things aren't really worked out on the basis of what people actually do and people's actual behaviour. They're just very simply, okay, well, we're going to put the disabled spaces and the parent and child spaces as close as possible.
Yeah.
Now, the parent and child, I mean, don't get me wrong. I use parent and child car parking spaces, and especially more so since I've had a child. But when it comes to those spaces, why are they nearer the shops?
Mine's like thinner at the top, and then it gets fatter the further down you go.
It does. It does indeed. Yeah. So yours is more like a bit of a hipster vape.
I guess so. I mean, you can get a thinner version of this one. So like the battery on this is quite fat. You can get a thinner version, but the battery doesn't last as long.
Yeah.
So I got this one because it advertises an all-day battery.
I thought you were going to say all-day breakfast then.
I wish it advertised all-day breakfast. I mean, I'd be in my element there, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
All-day breakfast.
Hang on, I'm just going to have a suck on my all-day breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if you can get like all-day breakfast flavoured vape juice.
No tomatoes, no mushrooms.
Correct. Extra bacon. Always extra bacon. Extra
Bacon flavoured.
Bacon flavoured. Shall we do some online research?
Well, I think we should. I think it would be stupid not to, and I'm sure the listeners and viewers would be disappointed if we didn't do some research into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, bacon flavoured vape juice. Bacon flavoured vape juice, available from hotjuice.com.
I think the parent and child spaces should be at the other end of the car park.
All right.
Because if you take the general population, those people that have young children are most likely to be at the prime of their life.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
More than likely. Yeah.
They should be fit and able. The children should be fit and able. If they're not, they've got wheels. So why can't they go that extra mile? It's not even an extra mile, extra few yards, and be parked further out. It makes no sense. It's not. It's not the inability to. It's not the inability to walk. It's just the parent and child space. The idea of that is you've got a bit more space on either side, so you can get children in and out of the car.
The first flavour I ever got when I first got my vape was tobacco flavoured, and it was disgusting.
Of course, it is the most disgusting thing. Why would anybody want that? I don't understand. It's an odd thing to have on sale.
It was sold to me as. So I basically went to like a shopping centre, and there was like one of these little mobile, stands that just had all the vape stuff set up. And I just went there because I was walking past and I went, you know what, I'm going to try and give it a go. It's the trendy thing to do, and it might help me save a bit of money. So I was talking to the guy there, and he's the guy that sold me one of these. So the Jack Vape S Pen, S Series S22. And I've just stuck with that model ever since because I like it. But yeah, he sold me that with I think it was a 1 ohm resistance mouth to lung coil, and some tobacco flavored juices of varying strengths as well. Because he just said, look, just buy like one of each strength and figure out what kind of works for you. And, he was like, use a mouth to lung coil because that's the one where you have to draw it in like a cigarette and then breathe in. Well, I don't use that anymore. I use direct lung coils where you just literally, suck it like a straw. Well, not like a straw because you don't breathe in your milkshake, do you? But you know what I mean? It's called a direct lung coil now is what I use. Okay. But it was like, just try one of each strength and see what kind of works for you. But it's been years in the testing for me. Finding the flavors that I like, the right nicotine strength, and the coil resistance that I want as well. Is there an age limit on those spaces? That's what I want to know. So a parent and child parking space, is there an age limit?
You're thinking about going shopping with your mum, aren't you?
Well, every now and again, I'll go visit my mum and we'll pop to the shops because she needs something or I need something, and we'll just go out and do a little bit of shopping. It's like, and I'm like, why can't we park in the parent and child spot? I am her child. Doesn't matter that I'm a grown-ass man. I've got a spreadsheet of flavors that I like.
Yeah.
So there's a particular brand that I go to. Yeah, well, I go to a particular website where they do bottles of vape juice for less than £1 each. Right. So again, helping to reduce the cost. So little bottles of vape juice like that.
Yeah.
And what I did when I first found them, I was like, right, I'm going to buy one of every flavor and test it just to see what I like. And I did a spreadsheet on it, and there's like, hang on, how many are there? 54 different flavors.
Wow.
That this one brand makes. So I built a spreadsheet and I went, right, bought them. Yeah, they've all arrived. Yep, no problem. And then I literally have, did I like it? Yes, no. Will I buy it again? Yes, no, maybe. Yeah. And the maybe column is literally if they haven't got anything else of the stuff that I like, I'll then have to go to those flavors instead. And I just kind of stick to those. But yeah, it's like 54 different flavors on there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's quite an that you put a lot of work into there.
I wanted to make sure I was doing it right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I wanted to make sure that if I was doing it, I was going to do it right.
You're going to do your job, do it right.
Exactly. You wear contacts, don't you, Ted?
I do.
So,
I'm wearing contact lenses as we speak.
Are they coloured lenses, or are your eyes naturally that blue?
My eyes are naturally this beautiful.
It was a weird conversation as well at work about contact lenses. So, like, one of the girls was complaining about getting headaches. And I said, well, maybe you need to go have your eyes tested and, make sure you may need glasses or something. She was like, oh no, I could never do glasses. I was like, what about contact lenses then? She was like, oh, I could probably. And she's one of these. She's like, I don't like sticking my fingers in my eyes. Ugh. All right, whatever. But yeah, I said, maybe you should just look at contact lenses. Then you haven't got to worry about glasses. Personally, I like glasses. I like people that wear glasses. I feel like it adds character to people's faces. Additional character to their faces. But yeah. So you wear contact lenses. I have worn contact lenses before. I just find them quite. I don't know. I guess because I like glasses, I find them to be quite an unnecessary expense.
Have I shown you my two?
Your two what?
My two?
No.
There's only one. I haven't got a pair of them, but I've got a two. Do you want to see my two?
Sure, why not?
My two's green.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why do you have a big green 2?
It's big green. It's a big metal
as well.
Metal green 2.
Why do you have a big metal green 2?
Well, I saw it and I thought, I'll have that. Generally speaking, I prefer to wear contact lenses. I would say those people that say, "Oh, I couldn't touch my eye. I can't do that." Well, they're not doing it. Super. If you're listening to this, that was CJ just poking his eye.
Well, that'll make a nice little clip for the intro of the show on YouTube.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Oh, made me eye water now.
Yeah, I don't have a problem touching my eye. And the people that don't wear contact lenses or that don't even need contact lenses or glasses that say, "Oh, you've got contact lenses. I don't know how you can touch your eye." Well, they don't need to, because people don't go around touching their eyes, randomly. No. And, it's the same principle as the people that say, "Oh, you're drinking an energy drink." Well, let me tell you about the time that or how I wouldn't be able to sleep for 2 days. I don't care.
Not interested.
I really don't care. I don't care about your reaction to energy drinks, and I don't care about, whether or not you can touch your eyes. But anyway, so yes, I am one of those people who is more than happy to touch my own eyes. Actually, you don't even touch your eye; you touch the contact lens, which touches the eye.
Exactly.
But no, I've worn contact lenses on and off for quite a number of years, and I prefer contact lenses because I understand that glasses do add character, but I think particularly since having a beard, I feel like I've already got something going on my face. I don't want to add too many face things.
So what we're saying is that I've got too much going on. I've got beard, glasses, and a hat.
I was on, what do you call it?
Fleabay?
No, the other one.
Facebook?
Yes, Facebook Marketplace. And I saw this too for sale. And I thought,
and then you saw that too. Hey.
I saw that too. And I thought, well, why not?
Sure. Why is it not on your shelf?
It is, but it's lower down, so I can rearrange it. I can have it up there if it pleases you.
Well, I feel like maybe the ammo box needs to move down a level, and then the big green 2 can take its place. Not that I understand the purpose of the big green 2, apart from the fact that it's just a big green 2.
It's a big green. It was a bargain. Do you know how much my big green 2 cost me?
50p.
No.
£5.
No.
Go on then.
We have discussed sort of head paraphernalia before.
We have, yeah.
And so say for example, here are my glasses. They just happen to be here. So if I'm wearing these glasses, which are currently very dirty, now everything's blurred.
Well, you actually got your contacts in as well.
Sorry, who said that? So anyway, so here are my glasses, which are fine. And, people will say, "Oh, yeah, your glasses suit you." Because they're never going to say, "Oh, you look a dick." But
I've said that before to people.
Yeah, with or without glasses.
Well,
yeah. I just find it's a little bit too much because I've got the beard, because I've got the glasses, and then it starts to okay. What's it's kind of a possible Rolf Harris-y look.
Yeah,
and I don't want to go down that line. Also, as we sit here, we're wearing headphones as well. So you start wearing headphones, glasses. Christ, some people wear a cap as well.
I know. Just some people just don't get it, do they?
Have one more guess.
£5.50.
No, it was £2.
£2. Oh, yeah. I should have got that. Let's just rewind. Was it £2?
No, it's £3.50.
Oh, damn.
No, it's £2 for £2 for a big two.
£2 for two. Nice.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
So I was trying to grow my beard out like quite long, not long before COVID, and I was actually doing all right. But then, face coverings became a thing. And what I found was, my beard would come down to about here, but because I wore the face covering, it would push it back under my chin.
Yeah.
And it just looked ridiculous. So I had to trim it back in the end. I was like, I might try again. I might try and grow it out again.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to contacts. Sorry.
Yeah. But it's the same principle. Well, also with contacts, the problem is if you're wearing, not contacts, with glasses, if you're wearing glasses and a face mask, as soon as you go indoors into a shop or what have you, you'll steam up.
Yeah.
And I'm not about that. I prefer to be able to see where I'm going. My simple, solution to that was to not wear a face mask, but.
Well, I'll say you got a few choices there. You can either, take your glasses off and be blind. You can not wear a face covering at all, or you could be one of these people that wore a face covering but just had it tucked under their nose.
Yeah, or just not go into a shop. That's another option.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Difficult when I need a Mars bar. But
yeah. What would you have done if you needed to buy a mask?
See, well, this
mind blown.
But weren't supermarkets providing, or some of them were providing face coverings if you didn't have one? Whereas others just completely ignored the fact completely.
Well, I ignored face coverings the second time around. But anyway, back to contact lenses.
I was going to say, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, back to contact lenses. Exempt. Back to contact lenses. I much prefer contact lenses because it's less paraphernalia around the face. I don't like wearing glasses with a hat.
Okay.
I don't like wearing glasses necessarily, so much with a beard.
All right.
They get all smudged, whereas contact lenses don't. And also, contact lenses sometimes I find are actually quite refreshing for the eyes. If you've got fairly tired eyes, you wake up and then you put contact lenses in, which is all wet and squidgy. Ooh, that's nice. It's a treat for the eyes.
Adds a bit of moisture to your eyes,
Yeah. One downside, however, of wearing contact lenses is I am now of an age where to see things up close can create some difficulties.
Okay.
So if I'm reading something up close, it could be something very small on my phone, or it could be just sort of reading something. So what I have, these look incredibly similar to my glasses, but these are some reading glasses to allow me to do the close stuff.
Okay, so they work with your lenses.
Well, yes, because if I'm wearing lenses, then my sight is corrected because for my short-sightedness, so I'm fine, great. But if it's close-up work, then actually it can be a little bit of a strain, or I have to move back.
Yeah.
So actually, having a pair, they're not particularly strong, but they're enough to make the difference if I need to read something up close, or what have you. The mic looks great at the moment to me, so not so much now. So
okay,
yeah.
So I'm pretty much blind without my glasses. I'm not long or short sighted. I've just got astigmatism, so it just means that everything is blurred.
Right.
It's almost like I think my. The lens in my eye is like stretched out slightly. So it changes the focus when it goes onto my retina. So I'm not short-sighted, but I'm not long-sighted. It's just everything is out of focus.
Isn't that something that causes issues when it comes to buying contact lenses?
It does. So there are a number of reasons why I don't wear contact lenses anymore. Number one was the cost. But because of my type of prescription, my lenses were more expensive than just like your monthly disposables. I was paying like something ridiculous like £35-40 a month for them.
Right.
So that was the second one. And the third one being that actually, I think, and again, I know it's a lot to do with my weight, but when I don't wear glasses, you can clearly see the bags under my eyes. You can probably see them a bit now, but I feel like glasses may hide it slightly. But if I take them off, I've got giant bags under my eyes.
Oh.
It's because I'm just old and tired,
Yeah.
So, and there we go. I can see you again now. Lovely. And But yeah, and it's that, and maybe I'm just a bit lazy, and especially if I'm getting up late for work in the morning or something like that, I don't want to be messing around trying to put contacts in. The one downside for me of not wearing contact lenses, though, is I don't get to cut around wearing my aviator sunglasses. I've got a whole collection of military teddy bears. Like, they're teddy bears that wear, like, military uniform, like guards and cavalry and Royal Air Force and things like that. So I've got a couple from, like, the Royal Air Force Museum. Yeah. That they, like, release every year. I think they release a new one every year, little charity bears. And they're all charity ones, by the way, as well. They're not just, like, generic, store-bought bears. They're all charity ones. So, like, Help for Heroes bears and things like that. So I've got a collection of those as well.
Glad to see you're doing your bit.
I am trying to do my bit, but also, give myself a bit of interest as well. Please my inner child. By buying, stuffed toys. They're unfortunately they're all currently in a bag in the loft. I need to bring them down at some point and put them up on the shelf. Now I've got a shelf in my studio space. I need to put them there. Yeah. I'm just a big kid. I collect toys. Get over it.
I'm over it.
Good. Yeah. I've got a whole collection of.
Hey, I like big metal numbers.
There you go.
I wouldn't wear glasses for a parade. So even if I wasn't wearing contact lenses, how lost am I going to get? There's usually somebody dressed exactly like me in front of me, and somebody to the side. I'm not going to end up in the next village, am I? Let's face it.
It's going to go wandering off out in some other direction. Well, see ya, bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says salute, you salute. Right? It doesn't matter what's at. Right.
Yeah, that's it. They tell you which direction to salute as well. So
absolutely. And you can see the flag. I can see a flag. It's probably not a swastika. Okay, I'm gonna be trusting enough. I'm gonna be trusting enough that this is all legit. Okay.
Can you imagine?
So yeah, I don't need my glasses for parades. And again, if you're wearing a peak cap, it's just there's too much for me. Certainly. Yeah. I didn't like that. Another thing though about having being slightly long-sighted and having reading glasses, they do create quite a good prop. So if you want to make a point, so the whole across the desk, been a little bit of a disappointment to me that I don't have perfect 20/20 vision in one eye and not in the other, because I would, you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
I always said that. I was
How
like,
awesome would it be?
Because so interestingly, I was going to talk about laser eye surgery, and so we know someone who's had laser eye surgery, and I don't think he ever really looked back. No pun intended.
No.
Because I was talking to him about it, and he said it cost him like £10,000. I was like, Jesus, so expensive. Again, the thought crossed my mind. I was like, well, maybe I could go and just have one done, just have one eye done. And then I could go and get a monocle.
Yeah.
And then a top hat. And then I'll shave my beard off, but leave the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might just grow it out to like handlebar type and be like that.
Yeah. If I had one eye that needed correction, there is no way I would do anything other than wear a monocle.
Exactly.
I would, I wouldn't have, a blank side of a pair of glasses or anything like that. I would definitely have a monocle.
Absolutely. And the thing is,
there's something cool about one eye. There's something cool about a monocle. There's something cool about an eye patch.
Yeah.
That was The Tuesday Show.
Get in touch with us. All the links are in the description. And until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.